And we start today's other headlines with the state of the U.S. labor market. The nation saw much slower job growth last month and the final such report before next week's election. The Labor Department's monthly tally shows that the U.S. economy added just 12,000 jobs in October. That's down sharply from the 223,000 new jobs we saw a month earlier. Economists say the impact of recent hurricanes and corporate strikes are at least partly to blame. The unemployment rate, meantime, remained unchanged at 4.1%. Speaking in Philadelphia this afternoon, President Biden told union workers the economy remains strong thanks in part to them.
I'm proud to be listed as the most pro-union president in American history. The middle class is growing. The middle class is growing. We're the best economy in the world right now because of you.
Looking forward, the U.S. Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates for a second time next week as inflation has cooled dramatically since its recent peak in 2022. That comes even as consumers and voters remain frustrated by the nation's high prices. In Spain, the death toll from this week's flooding has spiked to at least 205, with many more still missing. It's one of Europe's worst disasters in decades and the deadliest in living memory in Spain. In parts of Valencia in the country's east, more than a year's worth of rain fell in less than 8 hours on Tuesday. The floodwaters that followed piled up cars and smashed infrastructure. Volunteers are working to help those affected, but for residents, the impact of the flooding will be lasting.
Hay un montón de muertos.
There are a lot of dead people. And what do you want me to say? No matter how much help we get, it is not enough. We need much more help, and no matter how much help comes, this is not going to be fixed in a month or two. We need a lot because it has done a lot of harm, and the harm is going to be fixed, but the people who have left won't come back.
Authorities have rescued more than 4,500 people trapped by the flood so far. More rain is expected in the coming days. India's capital was shrouded by a thick layer of toxic smog today. New Delhi's air quality index plummeted to a reading of severe as smoke from firecrackers used to celebrate Diwali polluted the air. In many areas, levels of deadly particulate matter were 7 times the WHO's safety limit. Diwali is the Hindu festival of lights and one of India's most popular holidays. Authorities have banned the use and sale of traditional firecrackers in New Delhi since 2017, but people often ignore the rule. A U.S. district judge has rejected Elon Musk's bid to move a Pennsylvania lawsuit over his $1 million election giveaways to a federal court. The decision comes a day after a Philadelphia judge put the state challenge on hold. City prosecutors sued the billionaire and his pro-Trump super PAC earlier this week, saying the sweepstakes may violate election law. Musk's super PAC launched the prizes in October. To qualify, voters must be registered in one of 7 swing states, and they must sign a petition supporting free speech and gun rights. It's unclear whether today's ruling will stop the giveaways before Tuesday's election. On Wall Street today, stocks ended higher as investors shook off the news of that weak unemployment data. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added nearly 300 points on the day. The Nasdaq gained more than 140 points after steep losses earlier in the week. The S&P 500 also ended in positive territory. Still to come on the NewsHour, the unusual way Nebraska allots its electoral college votes could be the deciding factor on Election Day. David Brooks and Jonathan Capehart weigh in on the final days of the presidential race. And universities transform their art museums into spaces for voting and political discourse.